Alright, so I wanted to make just a quick little video of something really simple that we've been working on that will be, I think, pretty easy for you to integrate at home on the weekend. And that is really building engagement with her. So it'll help with the fact that she's not the greatest at walking on leash, that she's always sniffing and trying to find things, and also that literally everyone wants to touch her because she's freaking adorable. So naturally she finds a lot of value in people around her because they always give her so much attention and they give her all the good feels. So to start out, I mostly in puppy camp, I introduced her to a clicker, which is just it's a marker that marks the moment in time that I like something. So first we had to condition a response to that. So every time I click, I present food for her. She's allowed to come get food for me. It's showing her that that thing right there that she did, I really liked, because every time she does it, I click and then I present food. So after the conditioning has happened, when she hears the click, because she knows that food is coming, it allows for the click to then take on that good feeling of the food. So that's how I shape new behavior. So what I've been doing is, at first in these low distractions, so we're just in the training room and there's nothing really happening. There's some stuff around us, but it's not really that interesting to her. Every time she kind of walks away from me, if she looks up at me, I will click to mark that moment in time. So that way it kind of shows her that there's value in paying attention to me. So now that we've done it a good amount of time here in this low distraction setting, where we've been kind of going out and about, or just around the facility into like the out front parking lot and things like that, we just want to gradually increase the level of distractions to set her up for success. So I want to be able to motivate her and put value on me, and for you to put value on you as her handler when she's around competing motivators, and to strengthen that ability to disengage from those things. So I don't mind that, she's a social dog, she likes other people and all of those things, but at some point that's going to be problematic when we're just trying to exist, take her on walks, getting her to do anything, and another person or another dog comes into the picture and she completely blows us off. So it's cute right now, and it's depending on your personality. If you have all the time in the world and you don't care if she goes and says hi to people, then that's one thing. But at some point you're going to want to go to walk down the road and not have her ding 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 all over the place to go say hi to people. So I think it's just a nice skill set to have, is build up engagement and put value on you as her handler. And that'll really cut down the possibility of things like leash reactivity, where she's getting frustrated that she can't go say hi, and then that comes out as something that looks similar to aggression, even though it's not actually aggression. You would never be aggressive, right? So I'm just going to kind of demonstrate it. So it's going to be a little bit tricky to keep her in the shot because she's so tiny. I'm going to have food ready, but not very visible. I want to make a point to click and then present food, because I want the clicker to be the thing that announces the food and not my movement, because at some point I'm going to need my hand gestures to be neutral. So if I put her into a behavior, I want her to remain in that behavior regardless of what I'm doing with my arms or my feet or whatever I'm doing. So I need her to be responding to this marker. So she looks up at me, and in the beginning you can say her name to get her to help out. Just kind of move around a little bit. She found something on the floor. Yeah, good girl. And eventually, what I've been working on is how I present the reward to her. I want her to chase my hand just to kind of build up a little bit of enthusiasm. She's not really great at walking and taking food at the same time, so we've just been taking, baby steps with that one. So I'll show you. So she kind of has to take a little break. Good girl. Okay. And again, you could take her on walks, take her out around her neighborhood, and every time she stops and looks up at you, then you can mark that, reward it. Another thing similar to this is if she's kind of walking ahead of me and, putting a little bit of tension in leash pulling, I'm going to stop. She's not doing it right now because she knows that I have food. I will stop walking and put a little bit of pressure towards me, and as soon as she moves into that tension and back towards me, that's when I click and reward. So I'm really trying to get her to understand the concept of leash pressure. Animals, and us too, we naturally resist pressure as a counterbalance, I guess you would say. So like if you were sitting on a stool and I walked up and pushed you, you would lean into the push to keep yourself from falling backwards. So dogs, they naturally pull into pressure, to leash pressure. So I want to show her that if I put tension on the leash, as she moves into that pressure instead of pulling against it, that there's value in that. So pull, good. Very good. So I'll just put the slightest bit of pressure into the leash. I'm going to throw a treat away. So she does that. A little bit of pressure towards me. Good girl. And as soon as I click, I'm going to counter with, an exaggerated release of leash tension and then present that food. So do that again. I know it's kind of hard to see when I'm releasing pressure through video and not actually being able to feel, but as soon as she moves even the littlest bit into that leash back towards me, I'm going to kind of push my hand towards her just to make sure there's full release of the leash and click and mark that moment. And it is important that if she's moving away from us and she's dragging the line and we pull her towards us, that your hand is almost stationary. So we're not, if she moves towards it, I don't want to continue to pull when she's already turned towards me, because then that's not releasing the pressure properly. I hope that makes sense. So I want her to learn that as soon as she turns into me, that leash pressure goes away, and that's a good thing, a good feeling for her. So I'm going to try to demonstrate the best I can. So I'm going to throw it a little bit out of reach for her. So a little bit of leash pressure. Whoop, I clicked too soon. That's okay, come on. Good girl. So she's pulling just a little bit and I'm countering it. Yeah, good girl. Leash pressure is so different with her because she weighs, pounds. Hey girl. So you have to be like so gentle with the leash, otherwise you lift her off the ground or you fling her backwards. Yeah, good girl. So again, what I'm doing is she wants to go get those hot dogs over there, but I'm not letting her. I'm just stopping her with leash pressure. Yeah, and as soon as she leans back into that leash pressure, I click and present the food for her. So I want her to learn that moving into leash pressure is good, something good for her. And we've already been doing this a lot, so she already knows the picture. So it's, yeah, good girl. So it's, second nature to her now. But I think it's a good thing to practice. Her obedience is coming along nicely. She's got her sit down really well. The down is something that we're really struggling with. She knows how to go into her down. Staying there is another thing. So for duration, I'm using the word good to mark that. So when I say good, that means I'm going to continue. I want her to continue to be in that behavior. So I'm going to say good treat, not say the word treat, but offer her a treat. I'm bringing the reward to her so that she stays in behavior. And that's something that is delivered at a frequency that she's able to continue the behavior. And because it's a little bit problematic for her, I'm treating her pretty often, and that'll phase that out. Yeah, good girl. Once she's ready, so I'm going to do a little bit of a demonstration for that too. So rewarding heavily right now. I want to have that consistent reinforcement schedule, so that way when we get a little bit more advanced, good girl, and I start fading out the food rewards because maybe she doesn't do something the way that I like, because she's used to getting it all the time, I want her to question why she didn't get a food that time, a treat that time, so that she can get a little frustrated and try something different. So that's how I'm going to shape the behaviors that I want. I'm going to do it. Good. 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 And I haven't used the word down yet. Good. Because she hasn't been doing it consistently enough for me to put a name on it. Good. Just to avoid disassociation. Okay. Is her release word. Okay, is her release word. But I don't want her thinking that down means something different because she's not always going into a down when I lure her into a down. No, don't do it. Good. And something else to note with her, because of her little tiny size, I keep my sessions really, really short just because she gets full so quickly. So if I try to work her for too long, she loses interest in food because she's satiated, she's no longer hungry, and then it just becomes something that's like boring and work essentially for her. So I want to keep her excited. Good. So I say that word good when she goes into the behavior that I want. Good. Good. And I'm adding in movements as I do it. Good. To get her used to the concept that eventually at some point I'm going to stand up. Nope. That was too much. Good. So try again. Good. 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 Oh, uh-oh. Okay. Good. Good. Okay. Yay, good girl. All right, you're gonna go have those. So yeah, not anything too exciting to deliver just yet. I want to move at the pace that she's able to move at. I think that working on engagement between you and her at home is going to be something that's beneficial for down the road as she gets a little bit older. It's again, especially because everyone wants to touch her. When I take her places, everyone's like, naturally she's adorable. So making sure that you are balancing your value as she perceives it is going to be something that I highly recommend you work on, just because otherwise you're gonna be chopped liver when she's out and about around and hitting elevators, which is, it's not just her, that's easily done with dogs. It's new information, they all get really excited for that stuff. So yeah, you're all done. Yeah, say bye, babe. Well, you're gonna go home in a little bit.